I mean, it's just, if I pulled up the profile of cheater, con man, clown, and coward,
results,
your face would be next to it. Now, you sitting up here with your wife standing next to you.
She's my 7th wife, Your Honor. Things that's been said in here, all of it's not true.
She actually sent between 5 and 7 nude pictures of herself to an ex. I went through her phone and I seen she was talking
We weren't
with.
together.
I called this guy off my phone and he didn't want to talk to me at all. And you know what, I'm at a point in the relationship where I'm like, you know what, I really want to know what's going on. So I sent him $100 cash for him to tell me, just tell me what's going on with you and my girlfriend.
This case is a full-on disaster from the start. Judge Lake introduces Streeter vs. Hartfield, where Ms. Streeter says Mr. Hartfield tricked her into having his baby while hiding the fact that he was married. He denies being the father and blames other men, but everyone can already tell this is going to be a mess.
You claim that during your relationship with the defendant, he convinced you to get pregnant with his child, but what you didn't know is that he was a married man.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say Mr. Hartfield is only denying the child in order to save his marriage. You say you made a mistake by having an affair, but you know you are not father of Ms. Streeter's child. You claim that Ms. Streeter was openly sleeping with other men besides you.
Ms. Streeter says the baby was planned, and they even tracked ovulation to make it happen. Mr. Hartfield says that's a whole lot of lies and acts like he barely knows her. Someone is definitely lying, and it's not looking good for him.
We went to hospital and we got the birth control taken out together.
She's telling you guys a bunch of lies. A whole lot of lies. That's convincing. That's definitely not the truth. We went in and took a birth control out together. That's definitely not true.
We planned this child, and when we even planned the date, you know, I had an app on my phone that tracked my ovulation, and we knew what we was doing when we was having sex.
Ms. Streeter finds out he's married the old-fashioned way, Facebook stalking. She sees happy pictures of him and his wife, but he tells her those are old, like that actually means anything. She calls his wife anyway, and now the truth is out.
He had ended up telling me a relative's name, and I had went on Facebook and found the relative, then found Mrs. Hartfield's page, and that's when I seen pictures of them. And I didn't even call her right away because he had told me, like, them pictures are old, she's professional, and for her image. Matter of fact, I didn't even call her, I text her and let her know, like, your husband's been treating on you for 8 months, and I'm 5 months pregnant. This never happened, but he just texted me just recently.
Ms. Streeter brings receipts, text from Mr. Hartfield saying, "I'm horny, come over." He tries to deny it, then admits it, then says they were playing a game. Judge Lake looks like she needs a vacation after hearing that nonsense.
He texted me earlier this week.
This is a text that says, no, and then I'm horny, and then come over. And the next line says, I'm serious, I am horny as hell.
That is true. I did send those messages.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I
But
did.
he's
Hold on, let me explain to you why. Because of this game that she and I like to play, that she likes to play.
Now, Mr. Hartfield says he only texted her because she threatened to call his wife. He even claims she was blackmailing him over a stolen car. The excuses just keep getting dumber, and the judge is over it.
Your Honor, I am dealing with a 22-year-old. It's because I didn't do things for her from the extortion that she's been doing to me that she's gonna call my wife. That time she did. Next time, she said she's gonna report that I stole her car. So I'm in a situation where I either get locked up if I don't play her little childish game.
Entertain her, you pacify her with flirtation.
Mrs. Hartfield finds out about the affair through a random text from Ms. Streeter. She confronts her husband, and he hits her with, "She ain't nobody." She decides right then and there that she's done with this nonsense.
The text message that I received from her.
You get a text message.
I'm in a relationship with your husband and have been for 8 months, and I'm pregnant. And that's it. Bleepity bleep is going on here. And I asked him about it, and he said, oh, she's just some little girl. She ain't nobody. I didn't like texting, so I called her. We had a conversation to which I told her, best of luck.
Ms. Streeter says Mr. Hartfield was excited at the hospital and signed the birth certificate. But then, at the last second, he freaked out and had his name removed. The evidence is right there, but he still tries to talk his way out of it.
He was there when the baby was born. You know, that's my baby, that's my boy. I never got to see none of my kids. He needs to be in the house with both parents.
Were you telling her these things, Mr. Hartfield?
I tried to get him to sign the birth certificate. The reason why, he signed it at first, but it was time for the witness to see us, and he like, you too anxious about me signing this birth certificate. You know what, miss, take my name off, talking to the witness. Like,
Mr. Hartfield says she told another man he was the dad too. Ms. Streeter calls him a liar. And honestly, at this point, we all believe her. The judge looks 2 seconds away from throwing her gavel.
What do you mean? You say you're not the only man?
There's a guy in our local town that she's also told him that he was the father, and she promised to give him some more loving once she had the child.
For me, I feel like it's an iffy thing with him. If I don't want to be with him, he don't want to be with the baby. But it's times when I have to come over and he's
Your Honor,
the
that
baby.
is absolutely crazy nuts what she's saying.
Turns out Mr. Hartfield had a whole secret apartment that his wife didn't know about. Ms. Streeter found out first, and dropped that bomb right on his wife. The pictures of him hanging out with the baby at this secret hideout just make it worse.
I never had a
Ms.
relationship with
Hartfield,
her.
you felt like he was living with you when he was sleeping with her.
Yes.
And you didn't know about this other place.
I did not know about the other place when she told me.
I have pictures of
He
him and my
took
son
pictures,
spending
yes.
time together. Spent times with my son when he claimed.
Is this at the other place?
Yeah.
And this is
that's
baby
me.
Caleb
That's right. I
together.
did that last week, actually.
Judge Lake has had enough and calls him a cheater, con man, clown, and coward. The audience claps because she's saying what we're all thinking. But now, the moment we've all been waiting for, DNA results.
I mean, it's just, if I pulled up the profile of cheater, con man, clown, and coward,
Results.
your face would be next to it. Now, you sitting up here with your wife standing next to you.
She's my 7th wife, Your Honor. Things that's been said in here, all of it is not true.
The results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hartfield, you are the father.
This whole mess is about to be a roller coaster. Miss Whalen says Mr. LeBlanc, a married man, is the dad of her son, Vincent. His wife says if the DNA test proves it, she's out.
Ms. Whalen, you admit you've been in a sexual relationship with Mr. LeBlanc, a married man, and claim he is the father of your 2-year-old son, Vincent Whalen. You are determined to prove that you are not the father of Miss Whalen's son in hopes of saving your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
This man acted like science was lying to him. Miss Whalen took multiple pregnancy tests, and he still sat there like, no way. Meanwhile, his wife had no clue a text was about to ruin her day.
Back when I was pregnant, he was staying in my house. It was one night I was telling him that I might be pregnant because I hadn't started my menstruation, so he went out and got some pregnancy tests, asked me to take them. He sat on side my bed holding his head. When I took the first one, I gave it to him and it showed that I was pregnant, and he still sat there and said, oh man, this can't be true. You can't be pregnant. And it was only because he didn't know how he was gonna go back and tell his wife that I was pregnant.
Imagine getting a text saying, I can't believe I did this again. No phone call, no explanation, just a casual message about a whole other baby. And that little word again? Oh, it's about to cause chaos.
I found out about Vincent through a text message through my husband. No phone call.
A phone call's not even good enough
I
for
need
that.
to see you face to face. None of that. It was through a text message. The text message stated, I can't believe I did this to you again. Again.
The word I'm hearing is again.
Right, again.
Turns out Vincent isn't even Mr. LeBlanc's first secret baby. He already has another child, Jaden, from a previous affair. The judge and Mrs. LeBlanc are both officially done with him.
Prior to Vincent, there was Jaden.
Who's the mother of that child?
I am. That's my 3-year-old.
Unfortunately, yes, sir.
To make the exact same mistake again?
And that's, Your Honor, why I didn't want, at that time, when she was telling me about Vincent, her being pregnant with Vincent.
The judge shuts everyone down real fast. She says both women are letting this man run back and forth like a lost puppy. And just when you think it can't get worse, he pulls out another excuse.
None of you all gonna come out looking any better than the other one. It's a mess. And it's babies coming into the world and a daddy going back and forth between houses. I'm just trying to I'm like watching a tennis match. I got a married man bouncing back and forth between his mistress and his wife. You all letting them, then you all wanna come into court and downgrade one another. Come on, man.
Now he says he heard rumors that Miss Whalen was sleeping with a neighbor. A guy in a pickup truck apparently hinted at it, and somehow that's his proof. The judge is not buying any of it.
There was rumors, Your Honor, going around that Miss Whalen had slept with the neighbor. I was confronted at one time. A guy pulled up on me in a pickup truck. He was like, oh, you know who I am? I was like, nah, who are you? There was rumors going around that she had slept with this guy.
We're here to offer proof that is relevant.
Grandma gets up and immediately calls her granddaughter a sneaky little hoe. The judge tries to calm things down, but it's full-on reality TV drama at this point. Even the audience can't believe what they're hearing.
Well, if she come out, Mr. LeBlanc's not the father, then I just know my granddaughter was a sneaky little hoe that thought past me, and I didn't catch that. But I honestly don't believe that. See, whores sleep around. Whores leave their husband and go sleep with other men and let him go sleep with other women and then want to get back. That's what whores do.
Hold on.
No whore right here.
This man really stands there and says, I love my wife. The audience is so over him, and the judge just shakes her head. Sir, your wife is done. Read the room.
I love my wife, Your Honor. I want to be with my wife. But at the same time, my wife, it's a struggle because it's hard to try to be with my wife knowing there's a possibility that these other kids are mine. And my wife trying to have a move forward in our marriage, it's hard for her to accept, bringing other kids into the household that's outside our marriage.
Exactly. That's why you ain't had no business doing it.
The results are in, and surprise, surprise.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. LeBlanc, you are the father.
This part is wild from the start. Miss Phillips sues Mr. Gibbies for $1,000, claiming he's not helping with their baby. She says he's 100% the dad and wants a test to prove it, but Mr. Gibbies isn't buying it. He says she's been with too many other guys and isn't his problem.
You are suing your ex-boyfriend for $1,000 in childcare expenses you claim he has ignored since denying that he is the father of your 2-month-old daughter, Jordan, whom he refuses to meet. Today, you have petitioned the court for a paternity test to prove he is the father and are looking to recover your $1,000 childcare expenses.
This breakup sounds straight out of a soap opera. Phillips thought Gibbies was the one, but after some spiritual event, he suddenly said, "I gotta work on myself." Then, in the middle of the night, he drove her to a hotel and left her there. She was confused, like she got kicked off a reality show. But wait, there's a holiday party story coming up that's even crazier.
I thought it was gonna be the best situation. I thought that actually the one for me. I think it started for me when, he went to this spiritual convention and he came home that night. He was just like, "You gotta go."
Then he goes to a spiritual convention.
Yes.
And comes home and tells you to get out.
Yeah, he told me he had to go because he was working on himself, whatever. So I was like, well, it's late.
Things get messy, fast. Gibbies goes to Miami, and while he's gone, he hears Phillips was partying too hard. She denies it at first, but later admits she cheated. Gibbies is crushed but stays in the relationship. But don't blink, because up next, car drama and a shocking confession.
2 days later, I get a call from a mutual friend that says she was involved in an event.
I called you and told you.
My mutual friend told me first. They left and went to a party where I know what type of girl she is. She's a very promiscuous girl, put it like that herself, because she's seen her.
I got right in the car and I seen her. I even said hey to me. In that situation, yes, I was
Originally, she told me that was her brother's.
This story has more twists than a curly fry. Gibbies' friend admits he hooked up with Phillips and had to hide when Gibbies showed up. She says they weren't together then, but she fires back, finding condom wrappers in his bag after Miami. And next, texts, jail time, and trust issues galore.
That's when the black car pulls up. He said, "Yeah, she told me to go ahead and let's get out because it's my boyfriend. He's crazy." I said, "Did the black car look like this one?" And he was like,
"Yeah, that was a friend of mine. We weren't even together."
And he explained in detail.
And I felt bad about it. I told him I felt bad. I should never did that. I didn't even feel good about it at all. The bag that he took to Miami, I see condoms in the open, and they open and one missing.
This is the he said, she said Olympics, and nobody's winning. Phillips says she was loyal, but Gibbies says she lies about where she goes. Then he drops a bomb. While he was in jail for 2 months, he found flirty texts from other guys in her phone. And just when it couldn't get worse, boom, married man alert.
A lot of times, because there's been times that we actually did things together, which I understand, because if you cheat once, then you think he's gonna think you always cheating. But then that's why I kept myself around him.
There was times,
so he wouldn't think that something was wrong. And that's what I did. I even had problems with my people. My grandmother was getting mad because I always was running over there to him.
This one had everyone shook. Phillips says Gibbies told her he was separated, but he was still legally married. Judge Lake sets him straight. You're still married till the papers say otherwise. And just when you think that's the biggest twist, the next confession takes things up a notch.
When I first met him, whatever, and we was getting into our relationship, he told me that he had been married before.
My wife at the time was living in Mississippi. We had been legally separated for almost 2 years.
A man is married until he is divorced. But at some point you found out.
Yes.
2 weeks later, but you continued. 4 years now?
I did, because by then I felt like I was stuck. I was young and I felt like I was stuck.
This part is sad and confusing. Phillips moved 800 miles away while pregnant, and Gibbies missed everything. Doctor visits, the birth, all of it. He felt left out and doubted the baby was his. Phillips says she just wanted to escape the drama. But now, Gibbies' sister is stepping in with her own take.
Who gets pregnant by a man that you claim is pregnant by? You go and take off 800 miles away. You go to Tampa. You down there. You done left me up here high and dry. You're not worried about me. I'm calling. I'm trying to maintain a long distance relationship. I'm not there doing the pregnancy of this child. The labor of this child. But even still, when she came back for her birthday, I took her out.
Gibbies' sister Raven comes in with some strong opinions. She says Phillips leaving during pregnancy looks suspicious. If it was really my brother's baby, why ghost the whole family? Plus, she says both of them cheated, so who even knows whose baby it is? And finally, it's DNA test time. The moment of truth is here.
First of all, it's just too much between the both of them, back and forth. This has been going on for years. And when my brother first told me that she was pregnant and that she did have a child, I thought it was strange that she left and went to Tampa, keeping it away from him, but you're keeping it away from the rest of his family too. Because if it is his daughter, then she's our family too.
You are her father.
That's it.
This part was wild. A man on his deathbed swearing a kid isn't his? Ms. Richardson asked her husband if he wanted to see the child, and he flat out said no. He kept denying it until his last breath, leaving everyone convinced he wasn't the dad.
Your Honor,
At my husband's deathbed, I had asked him, did he want to see his child? He said, that's not my child. So he kept telling me all the way until he took his last breath that she was not his child.
And you feel like at that point, if he did feel it was a possibility it was his child, he would have told you?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you not know a man is married when his whole family does? Ms. Russell says she had no clue until his mom told her after he had already proposed. She swears she was only with him, but things were about to get way messier.
I wasn't told about a wife until I was with the mom one day, and I told her that he had asked me to marry him in a text. She said, I don't know how he gonna ask you to marry him when he already married. He told me that they were separated and that he was waiting on her to pay for a divorce because he couldn't do it.
Lisa.
But that's not what he told me.
And my daughter-in-law, and that's that.
Imagine grieving your husband and finding out he had a secret kid. Ms. Richardson got a letter from her mother-in-law spilling all the tea. She found out about the other woman, the baby, and got sent a picture of the child all at once.
I found out from my mother-in-law. She wrote me a letter and we talked over the phone, and she told me that he had a girlfriend, and she also told me that he had a baby. She sent me a picture of the child. I don't even know what to say really about this because I'm very devastated, I'm upset, I'm over my loss of my husband. I was there when he took his last breath.
She was there the whole time.
The whole thing.
She thought the doctors were playing a prank on her. Ms. Russell went to the hospital for feeling sick, and they told her she was 4 months pregnant. She literally laughed because it was the day before April Fool's, but the joke was on her.
I got up to go to the bathroom one day and I could barely move. I called my mom and asked her to take me to the hospital. My aunt ended up taking me. I get to the hospital, they're like, Jessica, we suspect that you pregnant. I start laughing. I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this is the day before April Fool's Day. Why are you playing? I was 4 months and 3 days. I hadn't been with nobody since October.
And then after that time, you ended the relationship.
I left him June 28th.
If you thought he'd be happy, think again. He tried to pay someone to convince her to take an abortion pill. Instead of stepping up, he acted like the baby was a problem to get rid of. Ms. Russell refused and left him while she was 5 months pregnant.
Was he accepting the child? Was he saying?
No, he told me he didn't want the baby. He tried to pay the neighbor to get me to take some type of pill to get me to have an abortion. So I just decided I wasn't gonna do it, and when I had the money, I was gonna leave.
His own niece came in with receipts. He already told her he didn't think the baby was his. While he was away, he admitted he was seeing other women and doubted Eliza was his. And just when you thought this was the proof they needed, another twist came in.
He was down south while his wife was away, and the first thing he said was, niece, I don't think that this baby is mine. I even have somebody else who's coming to visit me while I'm here. So she was never in the picture until the fact that she had the child. Never spoke about her until the fact that he said that there was a possible chance that her daughter, Eliza, was his.
A DNA test was already done before, but it gave no real answer. Ms. Hill, Mr. Richardson's mom, took a test with the child, but it came back inconclusive. This only made them more sure the baby wasn't his.
So you've taken a DNA test prior? You did?
Yes, inconclusive. After my son had passed away, there was a letter came through the mail. It said for child support. I opened it up because my son is dead. So what is this all about? They said, well, ma'am, since he dead, we need a DNA test did on you. When the paperwork came back, it was inconclusive.
Boom.
It has been determined by this court. Ms. Hill and Mr. Richardson Sr. are related to Eliza Richardson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's all we want.
That's all we want.
Right away, things get wild. Mr. Green says Mrs. Green cheated all the time, so he's not sure Keegan is even his kid. Mrs. Green says, no, you cheated first.
You claim that the defendant repeatedly cheated on you during your marriage with both men and women. You state you have every reason to doubt that you are 1-year-old Keegan's biological father because of Mrs. Green's sexual track record. And you've petitioned the court for a paternity test. Mrs. Green, you say Mr. Green wasn't ready to be married and that he was the promiscuous one.
Mr. Green says she'd disappear for hours with weird excuses. One time, she said she was going to Burger King, but came back 3 hours later. Bro, what were you doing? Grilling the burgers yourself?
I mean, she used to leave me in the house like for numerous amounts of time. Like she'd tell me she going to the store for like an hour. She'd be gone for like 2 or 3 hours. Like she just been to her girlfriend's house. To her girlfriend's house can mean really her boyfriend's house or both. I don't think Burger King at 10 o'clock at night is crowded until like 1 in the morning. So this is what made me like not want to be with her. And then when I did leave, the first time I did leave, I was going to see my other child.
Mr. Green found a random condom wrapper on the floor and freaked out. Mrs. Green says he was in Atlanta probably making another baby. Now they're just yelling, "You cheated! No, you cheated!"
I found the condom wrapper on the floor. Like one time I came home out of town or whatever, I came, it was a condom wrapper on the floor.
How long were you out of town for? Where were you at when you were out of town?
I was in Atlanta.
Right, in Atlanta, right.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta.
With who?
With my son, moms. But we wasn't together.
So what are you talking about then?
But still, you found the condom wrapper on the floor, you smutty.
Mrs. Green said she got pregnant right after Mr. Green got back from Atlanta. He's like, how do I know that baby's mine? Their timelines don't match, and the math is not mathing.
He comes back and then you're pregnant. You tell him you're pregnant.
He was back for like a month before I found out I was pregnant. I had not been with anyone during the time that this child was conceived besides
Oh, really?
him.
Somebody wasn't calling your phone?
So you get pregnant through the phone. Anyway, like I said, I hadn't been with anyone during the time that this child was conceived besides him.
Mr. Green's friend says people know Mrs. Green's name for the wrong reasons. Judge Lake is like, gossip isn't proof, dude. Basically, his testimony was just one big rumor sandwich.
Basically, she turned up. They both turned up.
I believe I want you to explain to me in respectful language, if possible, what turned up means. Enlighten me.
No holds barred. Everything is a go, basically.
Sexually.
Everything is a go, yes.
Understood. Multiple partners.
Vegas in the bedroom.
Mrs. Green's friend says Mr. Green left right after the wedding. She says both of them need to stop fighting and be parents. Finally, someone with some sense.
Me and Whitney have been friends for a very long time. When, not too long after they got married, probably about 2, 3, maybe 4 days after they got married, she called me crying and she was like, my husband left. This is 4 days after you get married. When you get married so you don't have to chase people. You've been chasing and running from the beginning.
Mrs. Green cries and says she loved him, but never felt respected. She's just tired of all the drama. Before she can move on, she needs the truth about Keegan.
I've been through so much with him that isn't relevant to this case and relevant to what's going on right now. When I married this man, he had a child on the way. But I loved him and I wanted to be with him. I had to deal with him going back and forth. And he already had a child too. Like I said, I loved him, so I married him regardless. But I never feel like I was truly ever respected as his wife from day one.
Judge Lake reads the results.
As it relates to 1-year-old Keegan Green, Mr. Green, you are the father.
Now turn up to that. Turn up now.
Whoa, this one starts off super crazy. Mr. Smith left town because he thought the baby wasn't his. Melody's yelling, he's denying, and now they're in court like it's an episode of a soap opera.
Ms. Melody, you and the defendant are separated and living in different states because he says he's not the father of your 9-month-old baby, Savannah. Mr. Smith, you say the plaintiff's continuous lies and infidelities are proof that you are not the father of her daughter and you refuse to move back in.
Mr. Smith said the baby was way too dark to be his, like he thinks babies come out with ID photos. Melody said it was bruising from being born early. He still packed his stuff and said, I'm out.
No. I moved hundreds of miles away because when my baby was born, she came out 5 shades too dark compared to me. I mean, we're both very...
She was 2 months early.
No, we're both very white.
2 months early. I wasn't fully dilated when she came out. She was bruised. He hasn't even seen our kids in a month. He's been gone for months.
No,
he doesn't call, he doesn't help. I'm doing it all by myself.
This man found Craigslist messages and went full detective mode. He even called the guy like, you messing with my girl? Melody says, nah, she was just selling cars.
Okay, Your Honor, I was going through her phone like normal. I believe normal married couples do. They check up on each other's stuff. I mean, I do. But only because there was a history of infidelity.
We're doing a little investigation, going through her phone.
Looking, and I see that she's talking to some guy. So what do? I pick up my cell phone, I call him, and I say, hey, who is this? That's when he tells me, oh, I had an ad on Craigslist looking for a girlfriend.
Melody admits she planned drinks with the Craigslist dude, but says it didn't happen. The judge side-eyed her hard. Mr. Smith looked like he just won a game show.
We were supposed to go out for drinks. We were supposed to meet up. We never actually did.
That's why we're here. You don't come all the way to paternity court to come up in here and tell a lie, because at the end of the day, the DNA is going to show whether you're lying or not. It's an opportunity to just get it out. Tell it like it is.
Mr. Smith showed baby pics like it was a school project. He said the baby didn't look like him and brought up Melody's past boyfriends. Judge Lake was trying hard not to roll her eyes.
Well, she has a history of dating African-American men, Hispanic men, and that's really why when my baby was born, I thought that she's not mine. I mean, you can see here in the pictures, Your Honor, that
You feel like the coloring in her forehead indicates that she's African-American, or do you feel like her skin tone, you feel like is a dark tone?
Her overall skin tone
Her
is
skin
very
tone.
dark.
This guy paid $100 to Melody's ex for old nudes, and the ex just sent the same ones Melody already sent. He paid for a rerun.
She actually sent between 5 and 7 nude pictures of herself to an ex. I went through her phone and I seen she was talking
We weren't
to him.
together.
I called this guy off my phone and he didn't want to talk to me at all. And you know what, I'm at a point in the relationship where I'm like, you know what, I really want to know what's going on. So I sent him $100 cash for him to tell me, just tell me what's going on with you and my girlfriend.
Mr. Smith says Melody's ex came to town right when the baby was made. He thinks that proves it all. Melody's like, I didn't even see him.
And I just recently found out that right around the time that she sent those pictures to him was when he actually came into town, right around the time she got pregnant.
I haven't seen him in over 2 years.
Are there any other instances that make you doubt?
No, he's just very jealous. He comes up with stuff. I applied for jobs on Craigslist. I went and applied for a job for cleaning.
Smith skipped the baby's birth because he had doubts. Melody was heartbroken, raising babies while he vanished. The court looked ready to explode.
Because there's so much infidelity on her part that, I mean, I'm still young. I've been courting her and the kids for years now.
No.
And for her to just disrespect me like that, go off cheating
I've never
everybody
cheated
that
on
she
him.
wants to.
He's the only one who's ever cheated in our relationship. I've been faithful. Yeah, I talked to somebody. Now we're not together. Now I'm raising my kids on my own. We're married. We're supposed to be together.
Mr. Smith, you are Savannah's father.
No.
I met her walking around my apartment complex. She was with some mutual friends, and I thought she was very attractive, and I talked to her. We exchanged numbers. We had sexual contact later on that night.
Same night you saw her walking
Yes,
around the
ma'am.
parking lot?
Yes, ma'am.
So was this sex protected?
No, ma'am, it wasn't.
He had sex with his cousin, and I felt very vulnerable about it.
Yes, I did, but that was before her. She already knew about that.
You know, I received the inbox telling me she said that she had sex with my little black car and they had a baby. And I felt very astounded about it.
She told you before that when you were sitting in the car with your friend, when y'all left from the Riverwalk.
No, that's not true, and you got her
Yes,
pregnant.
it is. It's true, Your Honor.
This case was already a disaster before it even started. Jeremy Boston swears he isn't the dad, but Teresa Murphy is tired of his nonsense and wants a DNA test. The judge catches Jeremy in a lie within seconds, and things go downhill fast.
Mr. Boston, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say you have undeniable proof that there is no way possible that you are the biological father of the defendant's 10-month-old son, Tristan.
Jeremy tries to convince everyone they were never in a relationship, but Teresa isn't buying it. He claims he slept on the floor while she says he was in her bed every night. The more Jeremy talks, the worse his story gets.
So how long were you in this sexual relationship?
4 months. I wasn't even in her house for 4 months.
He's lying.
Big
He's lying.
over there every
He's
other
lying.
night.
Like, he was at my house
Sometimes I
every
can't,
night, spending the night
sometimes
sleeping
I
in the
can't
same
stay
bed.
over there alone, kicking it with them. You know, having beverages. Stayed over time and my mom was asleep, so I couldn't get in her house. So yes, I did spend a night
It was
over
an
there. And I
everyday
slept
thing.
on her
It
float
was
in
an
her living room.
No, lying. You
Yes,
slept
I
in my
have.
bed.
Jeremy acts like he found out about the baby from a news report. Teresa says he was happy and rubbing her belly, but Jeremy says he barely knew her name. The judge gives him the side-eye of the century when he admits to calling her Bookie the whole time.
He started coming over my house, spending the night. We had sexual encounters plenty of times on several occasions in my bedroom. When I first found out I was pregnant, he was happy. He came over to my house. He's like, oh, he rubbed my belly and everything. He was smiling and everything.
She was pregnant. That family member came in the house and told me, well, you know somebody named Teresa? At the time, I didn't know her government name. Only thing I knew was
He's
Bookie.
lying.
Jeremy swears he wasn't around when the baby was conceived. Teresa says that's a lie, and that he even came to visit the baby after birth. Jeremy admits he held the baby, but only to check for clues.
After I had the baby, Your Honor, he came to Chicago to see my baby. I moved back to Chicago with my mom. Actually, I have proof. He came to Chicago to see my son. He asked me to take a picture of him and his son and put it on Facebook, and that's what I did. Tristan and Mr. Boston.
Mr. Boston and Tristan.
Yeah.
Just when it couldn't get wilder, another man enters the mix. Turns out Teresa was also with Tyron Gregory, who straight up blocked her on Facebook when she told him she was pregnant. The audience gasps, but let's be real, this is normal for paternity court.
She texted me on Facebook and told me she was pregnant. I never talked to her again. Like, I blocked her, so he basically never
You got a message on Facebook that she was potentially pregnant by you and you deleted her?
blocked it.
He actually blocked me, Your Honor, because he had went back home to his girlfriend and he thought that I was gonna break up a happy home, which it wasn't nothing like that because I don't want to break up no happy home. This is about my son.
Teresa's best friend, Quiana, jumps in to expose more lies. She says Jeremy was at Teresa's house all the time and was not sleeping on the floor. Jeremy tries to act surprised, but the judge looks like she's heard enough.
I was living with Teresa the whole time.
And he was sleeping on the floor.
He was sleeping in my bed.
Was Mr. Boston the only man coming over there within that 4-month period?
When she was seeing him, he was the only man. They broke up. They weren't talking for like 2 weeks. That's when she started messing with Mr. Greg.
Teresa put Jeremy on child support, even though she wasn't sure he was the father. The judge is not happy and warns her that this could cause big problems. Teresa basically shrugs and admits she did it out of pettiness.
I put Mr. Boston on child support.
You did what? I ain't getting no letter.
Proof.
Why would you arbitrarily choose Mr. Boston and put him on child support?
At the time when I conceived, I didn't talk to neither one of them, but I had Mr. Boston information as far as his birthday, his social security number, and everything.
Mr. Boston, you are not the father.
Buckle up, this drama is next level. Ms. Nesbitt sues Mr. Henderson for paternity, claiming he only buys diapers for their baby, Zian. He denies being the father, saying she was with the neighbor.
Ms. Nesbitt, you are suing to prove to Mr. Henderson that he is the father of your 7-month-old daughter, Zian. You say that when the results prove you right, you expect Mr. Henderson to step up. Mr. Henderson, you claim your case is simple. You say Ms. Nesbitt cheated on you with her neighbor during the window of conception, and he is Zian's biological father.
Things get weirder. Ms. Nesbitt says Mr. Henderson treats her other kid better than his own. He admits he doesn't want to care for another man's child, but he already is. Make it make sense.
Well, he buy her diapers, that's about it. He doesn't do anything for my child, but buy her diapers. He does more for my 2-year-old son that he knows that's not his, than his own daughter.
Because I feel that I shouldn't have to take care of another man's baby. I came into this baby's life and already knew he wasn't mine, but I had a possibility that she'd been mine, but she's not, so I felt kind of hurt.
Plot twist. Mr. Henderson secretly signed the birth certificate, then lied about a DNA test. Judge Lake calls him out. But wait, the real cheating scandal is about to drop.
So, Mr. Henderson, you did sign the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Nesbitt that said, don't sign it just yet because it may not be yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, he even lied to his father and told him that he got a DNA at the hospital when he didn't.
Well, honestly, Your Honor, because I didn't want him all in my business.
Oh, Your Honor, that's a lie. He signed the birth certificate. He told me that he signed the birth certificate so he can have rights of the baby, so he can get custody of the baby.
Ms. Nesbitt admits she told Mr. Henderson the baby might not be his, out of anger. Yeah, that helps nothing. The tension is thick, but it's about to get worse.
She kept coming to me like, this not your baby, LaDon. Like one time
After Zian was born?
Yes, I came in the house one night drunk. I don't know if she was mad at me or not. She probably could have said it out of spite because I came in late.
True.
She get the argument, oh, she's not yours. That's why she's not your baby. She could be Mr. Brown's
Nesbitt,
baby.
did you say that?
Yes, Your Honor, I did it out of anger. I was really angry
She
when
said
I
it several times, Your Honor.
Boom! She reveals Mr. Henderson slept with his own cousin. No wonder she had doubts. Judge Lake's reaction? Priceless. And trust me, it's about to get wilder.
He had sex with his cousin, and I felt very vulnerable about it.
Yes, I did, but that was before her. She already knew about that.
You know, I received the inbox telling me she said that she had sex with my little black car and they had a baby. And I felt very astounded about it.
She told you before that when you was sitting in the car with your friend, when y'all left from the Riverwalk.
No, that's not true, and you got her pregnant.
Yes, it is. It's true, Your Honor.
Enter Mr. Brown, the neighbor. Ms. Nesbitt hooked up with him right after a fight. 2 weeks later, she was pregnant. The courtroom loses it. And Mr. Brown, he has his own version of events.
Well, I doubted because we was having unprotected sex for a year straight, and all of a sudden I had sex one time with Mr. Brown, and I ended up getting pregnant 2 weeks later.
Mr. Brown is
the neighbor.
Your neighbor?
Yes. Well, me and Mr. Henderson, we got into an argument, and it led in my apartment to him coming in, giving me a massage, and led off to me.
Mr. Brown admits he flirted with Ms. Nesbitt, and they hooked up on her birthday. He plays it down, but it's a mess. Then, his story takes a weird turn.
I first met her, she had moved to my apartment, been a couple doors down. I used to always flirt with her, to blink an eye at her, you know what I'm saying? Because she was a cute girl, you know?
It was just like birthday sex, that was about it.
It wasn't more that she used to always hit me up and text me and all that stuff. I used to text her different names, like
it was
this
just
Tracy,
one time.
Nancy.
Your Honor, she's telling me that it's been going on longer than that. It was more than one.
It was just birthday sex.
Mr. Brown shows a picture, claiming the baby looks nothing like him. He even compares features like a detective. But the drama isn't over yet. These men have been beefing on Facebook Facebook.
This is a picture of
me on the right and her on the left, yeah. She look nothing like me at all. Ears, look at her cheeks, nothing. Lips, nose, nothing like me. One day she had told me she didn't want to take the first. She was always asking like, "Do you mind taking the test?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then one day she,
No,
I guess she didn't want to hurt
Your
his
Honor,
feelings.
he's
or
the
something.
one that called me.
So wait, she asked you to take a test. Do you mind taking
Yeah,
a
and I used to
paternity
always
test?
tell her what I tell her.
Yes, they fought about this baby on Facebook. Mr. Henderson tagged Mr. Brown saying, "Come get your daughter." Mr. Brown blocked him twice, and somehow it gets pettier.
Him hit me up on Facebook. See, I had to block him on Facebook.
No, bro. I'm a real man, bro.
You having a Facebook feud?
Oh, it wasn't no Facebook feud. I just told him, like, bro, come get your child. You feel me? This is not my child. She's telling me that this child is not mine. I'm not about to sit there. I'm a real man. I'm not gonna have her calling me daddy or nothing. Like, hold on, I'm not your
I just
father.
don't want my
That's
daughter
your
to be
father.
fatherless, and I just want to find out today.
Ms. Nesbitt accuses Mr. Henderson of treating her other kid better than his own child. Henderson claps back, saying, "That's different, because I got feelings." Judge Lake is trying so hard not to roll her eyes, but the biggest moment is coming, and it's time for the truth to finally come out.
She told me several
But he
times
takes
that it
care
wasn't my baby,
He
Your
takes
Honor.
care of my baby that he know that's not his, which is my son. He takes care of him.
Yes,
he
but
bought
you
my
did
son
cheat
5
on me
pairs
and
of
have
outfits,
him,
and
though.
he only bought his daughter only one.
I got
so it's
I
not a
got
difference.
feelings too.
What he's saying is there's a level of resentment that he feels as it relates to baby Zion. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And now, the moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Brown, you are not her
Oh!
Okay, sit down, Mr. Brown.
Right away, things go from normal to what in the world is happening real fast. Ms. Ferguson brings her mom to court because she just found out the dad who raised her might not be her real dad. And just like that, we're off to the races with secrets, drama, and a whole lot of awkwardness.
You've brought your mother to court today because you were recently shocked to learn that Ken Ferguson, who raised you your entire life, may not be your biological father. You have petitioned the court for a paternity test on Mr. Ferguson, whom we'll hear from in a moment. You acknowledge that you finally confessed to your daughter that you slept with more than one man at the time of her conception.
If you thought this was going to be a calm chat, think again. This is a full-on family roast session. Ms. Ferguson calls out her mom for ignoring her kids and sneaking around with other men, while her mom acts like she has no clue what's happening. It's like watching someone pretend they didn't eat the last cookie while crumbs are all over their face.
My mom goes through crazy moments and acts like her family never is there for her. The only ones that just want her attention and to talk to her and be there for her. So she was treating us like crap. She wouldn't talk to us. She would only talk to her guy friends and her other friends. Not even the husband, there for her to just lean on when she actually didn't have anyone else around her.
And just like that, mom storms out because she can't handle the heat. Ms. Ferguson drops a truth bomb. Watching her mom cheat so much made her think cheating was normal. If you thought this was dramatic, just wait, because Ken is about to spill some tea too.
See, this is what you do. You always walk away. You never can talk to me.
Your stepfather.
Yes.
And you finally just said to him.
Yes, I let it all out. Everything I was keeping secrets from him. Yes, I was supposed to be her little secret keeper. Supposed to be the only one to know that she was sleeping around. And I couldn't handle it anymore because I love him like I love him.
Ken steps up and says, "Oh yeah, I had doubts." And boy, does he have a reason. Turns out Ms. Munsell was with 4 dudes in one night before they even got together. Ken still married her and raised Ms. Ferguson, but now he's back in court, reliving the mess all over again.
Miss Ferguson, this young woman was your daughter.
Yeah, I believe she was my daughter.
Why do you have the doubt?
When I first met her at a party, I found out after this, because that's when we met. She slept with 4 guys that night.
You know this for a fact or you heard?
No, it's fact. Then we were dating, moved in with each other. Within like 2 weeks, my sister started calling me saying, "Hey, there's down at the house."
Ms. Ferguson, trying to be the bigger person, asks her mom to just say sorry. Instead, her mom gives the worst apology ever. Something like, "I did my best," but without any real feeling. Ms. Ferguson is not buying it, and honestly, neither is anyone watching.
I just wish one day she'll just sit down and admit to my face what she did was wrong and I shouldn't have seen it and I shouldn't have this feeling.
Are you willing to give your mother a chance to apologize today? Here today, she appeared to be extremely emotional.
It's because she's never admitted.
And now, the moment of truth.
When it comes to Alicia Ferguson, Mr. Ferguson, you are her father.
This was totally wild. Imagine thinking you know your dad, and then boom, surprise. Ms. Fuller's mom told her the man on her birth certificate wasn't her real father. Instead, she said then, on her 13th birthday, her mom confirmed it, but gave no real answers. She spent her whole life wondering where she came from, and now she's finally ready to find out.
Father, and that my father was dead, actually.
This part was straight up crazy. Her mom's final words included the name Cornelius, and Ms. Fuller had no idea who that was. She searched online, found a record in her mom's things, and saw it was written by a saxophone player. Even weirder, the song was named after her mom. This dude is just like, oh yeah, I knew Lorraine. He says they met at a nightclub and fell in love, but their relationship was complicated. Then one day, she disappeared.
Do you remember her mother, Lorraine?
Yes, I was singing in a band at the time. That's where I met her, in the nightclub, and we started dating. When she came down to the club, I would take her home. She lived in the other part of town. I stayed in the ghetto, and she was white.
This was unexpected. Years later, Cornelius tracked Lorraine down, knocked on her door, and they reconnected. And by reconnected, I mean they got real close with no protection. Now Ms. Fuller is wondering if that night led to her birth.
That she was in San Bernardino. So me and my brother to the place I thought she was at, and I knocked on the door, and she came to the door.
Was she single or was she married?
Well, she was married.
Was her husband home?
No.
So what happened?
We just fell in love again.
Fell in love again.
Yeah.
This could have been awkward. All right, here it is, the moment of truth.
As to whether Mr. Neal is her biological father. Mr. Neal, you are not Miss Fuller's father.
Oh. This case is already a mess, and we haven't even started. Judge Lake introduces Sousis versus Payne, where Ms. Sousis says Mr. Payne's mom made him doubt their baby girl. She wants his name on the birth certificate, but he's not signing anything without proof.
Ms. Sousis, you have dragged the defendant into court today because you say it's his mother's fault he's denying your 10-month-old daughter, Aleliana. You claim when the DNA results prove he is the father, you want the defendant's name added to her birth certificate.
The trust issues here are next level. Mr. Payne says Ms. Sousis is sneaky because she went to the movies with another guy and texted her ex. She fires back, saying he did the same thing. So what's the problem?
The first day after we started talking, she went to the movies with some other guy, Facebook messages telling her
did something with another girl and you was just telling your ex you loved her, so what's the difference?
You lying in court.
I don't need to lie.
Ms. Sousis, you did contact your ex?
Yeah, I said I cared for him. I never said I loved him. He told his ex he loved her, and I did go to the movies with a boy.
For 9 hours. What movie is 9 hours?
Mr. Payne was happy at first, then switched up real fast. He says the pregnancy happened too fast after they got back together, making him suspicious. His mom agrees and says, something ain't right here.
What happened when you told him you were pregnant?
He was happy for a minute. I don't know, I guess there we go with this DNA test stuff, so.
I was happy and shocked at the same time, because I felt like it happened fast, because we had just got back together.
So you got back together,
2 weeks.
It seemed like right away, because the first time she was pregnant twice. The first time she got pregnant, I knew without a doubt it was his because she didn't go anywhere. I couldn't get rid of her.
Ms. Sousis is fed up with raising her daughter alone. Mr. Payne claims she chose to do it by herself, but she says he was just never there. The judge can barely get a word in because they won't stop arguing.
I've been doing this for so long by myself. It's like, I'm just fed up.
She didn't have to be alone. She chose to. That was on her.
Who was there for me? Because I've been independent for so long, for so many years by myself. I was used to it, so it was like.
Did you want him to be there and help you?
Yes, I did.
I'm confused as to why you didn't allow him to help you.
We just argued too much around my daughter, and I don't want that all around her, so.
Ms. Sousis says Mr. Payne comes and goes like a lost puppy. He swears he tried to be there, but she made it difficult. Then they start fighting over a stroller color, and the judge looks so done.
And so for the past 10 months, you've been raising her on your own?
Not on my own. Like, yeah, he comes in and, like I said, he comes in and out. I don't like that. If you're gonna stay out, stay out. If you're gonna come in. Like, if she knows you're dad, stay in. Like,
if you need help and you want me to be there and you tell me no, what more can I do?
All right, but when I ask you
to help, how's it a problem? When you just ask,
it's a problem.
What did I do?
Right?
When you just asked, what did I do?
The gossip in this case is wild. Mr. Payne says random people told his mom that Ms. Sousis was moving around too much. She claps back, saying people love to talk, but it's all lies.
There was another situation, I think I told you too, Lacey. A lady, her daughter goes to school pretty much with Lacey, and she was saying, oh, she talks to this guy and this girl and this guy. Like, just everybody. No one
Everybody gonna say anything they
want.
want.
But no one has anything good to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know how that goes, but you understand that's my doubt.
It's always something bad in me. I'm a hoe. I'm this. I'm that, but does anybody really know me? But when I confront people, nobody got nothing to say.
Ms. Seuss is mad that Mr. Payne didn't sign the birth certificate. He says he had doubts, and his mom told him to wait. She thinks that was just an excuse to avoid responsibility.
You say that he's not on Aleliana's birth certificate.
Yes, that's another reason why I didn't let him take her as much.
Don't sign it if you have any doubts. Get the DNA test first.
It is sad that it took 10 months.
It's sad, yes.
For it to happen, but at least it can happen today. And if it is my child, I'm gonna step up all the way.
Good.
All the way.
100%. You don't gotta say good, because I know what I'm gonna do.
The tension in the room is crazy. Judge Lake reads the results, and boom.
It has been determined by Mr. Payne. You are the father.
Thank you.
I'm happy. Now I'm happy.
This courtroom started wild. Mr. Black walked in straight up saying, "That ain't my kid." He wants the baby's last name changed if the DNA test proves he's not the father. Ms. Rockmore says he's the dad 100% and is disgusted by his denial.
You say you're here today to finally prove that you are not the biological father of 4-month-old Javion Black. You say when the results reveal you are not the father, you no longer want the child to have your last name. You say you are 100% sure Mr. Black is your son's biological father, and you are completely disgusted by his rejection of your innocent child.
These two met, talked for a few hours, and next thing you know, no protection, no hesitation. Mr. Black says she was cute, they exchanged numbers, and boom, same night hookup. Now they're in court, trying to figure out if that one night made a whole human.
I met her walking around my apartment complex. She was with some mutual friends, and I thought she was very attractive, and I talked to her. We exchanged numbers. We got to know each other a little better on that evening, and then we had sexual contact later on that night.
Same night you saw her walking
Yes,
around
ma'am.
the parking lot?
Yes, ma'am.
So was this sex protected?
No, ma'am, it wasn't.
Mr. Black swears the baby isn't his because he saw her ex take her to the store. Judge Lake looks at him like, "Sir, what?" Turns out, buying groceries does not equal making babies.
I'm doubtful because at the time I was there and I was talking to her, that period of time, I seen her ex involved with her.
You saw her with her ex?
Yes, ma'am. He walked past me while I was at her house talking to her, and he went and took her to the store.
How'd you know it was her ex?
I knew it was her ex because she told me.
Ms. Rockmore told him she was pregnant, and his first reaction was, "I don't believe you." She had to send a sonogram just to prove it was real. Instead of stepping up, he pulled out a homemade timeline like he was solving a crime.
The first person that I told was my mom, and that's because she went to the doctor with me. As soon as I left the doctor, I called Mr. Black to let him know that I was pregnant. And at the time, he didn't believe me until I showed him a sonogram picture. Then that's when he believed me.
I was doubtful. It was a month later. I got a calendar showing the time periods of where we had our intercourse in the time period. She showed me she was pregnant. She could have had sex with anybody from August to September.
He literally made a calendar to prove he couldn't be the dad. Like, that's how science works. Judge Lake counts the months and says, "Sir, these numbers add up perfectly." The audience loses it when he suggests she had another guy waiting right after him.
I'm trying to prove that he is not my child. It helps me in that way of showing you the time frame that we did have sex. She was on her period from the 21st to the 28th, and we had sex on the 30th one time. And she came to me on the 26th saying that she was pregnant. Between July and August and September 26th, she could have had sex with anybody.
Claiming that the
times
window
just
of
don't add up.
conception would have been between July 30th.
Yes, ma'am.
And then, plot twist, Mr. Black's own mother switches sides. She stands with Ms. Rockmore and says, "That's my grandson." The audience loves it, and Mr. Black looks like he just got grounded on TV.
You're Ms. Black.
Yes, ma'am.
And you are?
I'm his mother.
You are Mr. Black, the plaintiff's mother.
Yes, ma'am. I'm his mom, and I am very disappointed, and I'm outraged that he would go this far to bring this young lady to court to prove that's his son.
The moment of truth, Judge Lake opens the envelope. Boom.
It has been determined, Mr. Black, you are the father.
If you were there when my mother died at the hospital on her deathbed and she told you she wanted you to take care of us, take care of me, whatever, where did you go? Why would you just leave us there? Why did we have to grow up the way that we did? That makes no sense to me.
You just standing there, Mr. Wallace, like you don't have a piece of remorse in the world.
No, ma'am.
You don't have any issues with cheating on your wife?
No, she's not a victim.
She's not?
No.
Oh, fill us in.
She barely cooks. She doesn't clean.
Correction.
Miss Lockridge takes Mr. Tidwell to court, claiming he's not stepping up for their 10-month-old son, King. She's confident, 100% sure he's the dad, and today's DNA test will settle it. But hold on, the drama that follows, you're not ready.
Ms. Lockridge, you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Tidwell, to court because he has refused to acknowledge your 10-month-old son, King. You are 100% sure he's the father and claim today's results will prove your case.
Mr. Tidwell fires back, saying Miss Lockridge doesn't actually believe he's the dad. She just wants him to be. He insists they only had an on and off casual thing for 6 years. Miss Lockridge? She's ready to clap back with some fiery responses.
I think she's more wants me to be the dad than she really believes I'm the dad. She's obsessed with me and she's to make me feel like I'm not the father. She's left town, she's left me with the baby for weeks. She only called me when she had the baby. There was no relationship.
We were on and off for 6 years. We were together for my understanding, how he led me to believe I was single or I was with him in a committed relationship for at least a year.
Things heat up when Miss Lockridge says she told Mr. Tidwell about the baby with an ultrasound photo and a note. His reaction? Confusion, like he'd been handed surprise homework. But trust me, the real mess hasn't even started yet.
She came over to my house. We hung out. The next day, I see a piece of paper on my bed. I grab it, I looked at it. It was a note with an ultrasound in it. I'm not sure the exact words of the note, but it said that she didn't know how to tell me this. So I called her. She didn't answer the phone. She ended up leaving me a text message saying that she was sorry and that she didn't know how to tell me that she was pregnant.
Miss Lockridge insists she wasn't seeing anyone else when King was conceived, only Mr. Tidwell. While she's all about the baby, he's looking like he just walked into a plot twist. The courtroom, nowhere near done with the fireworks.
When we conceived my child, I told him I just had my period.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
He said, "Shut up," and we kept going at it for
That's a lie, Your Honor.
You thought that he wanted or didn't mind if he got you pregnant.
I mean, he just got another girl pregnant 4 months prior, and I asked him, "What you gonna do about it?" He said, "If it's mine, then I'm gonna take care of it." So next time I come over, heck yeah, I'm excited.
Enter Mr. Tidwell's mom, Miss Harrington, who accuses Miss Lockridge of being obsessed with her son. She even jokes about a prayer closet dedicated to him. Oh, and she doesn't think King looks like their family. Drama? Off the charts.
She is very obsessed with my son.
I am not in love with him.
All she talks about is how much she wants to be with him and how she's got a prayer closet at home for him. Well, you know, this is just obsession, really.
Why is it so far-fetched that he could be King's biological father?
Because there was such a long span of time in between. I don't know anything about this young lady, really.
Miss Lockridge says she left King with Mr. Tidwell while working, but he claims she vanished for 2 weeks. And what happened when she returned? Let's just say it's part comedy, part cringe.
She left for 2 weeks.
No.
When I call her
Thursday
to ask her when she's coming back, she said she'll be back when she get back. I said, well, then I'm just going to keep him to figure out if he's mine. And all. She came within an hour. She was there with a man and picked the boy up. Came in, snatched him up, left, and I didn't hear her for a week. And I'm like, where are you going? Who you with? Oh, don't worry about it. Ooh. And she just snatched him up, left most of his stuff, bottles, and just left.
Miss Lockridge whips out King's birth certificate, pointing out that Mr. Tidwell named him and gave him his last name. Her argument? He knew King was his. The tension, sky high as the DNA results approach.
The birth certificate, there's no dad's name on it. That's all I want today. And if my son's name is King Tidwell, he needs the man that named him King Tidwell to be in his life.
You didn't just pick the name King, you gave him his last name too.
But yeah, he's gonna deny my son?
From your actions.
Denying is not a problem, Your Honor. It's
From
the
your
actions
actions.
of the way she's been acting, the things she do.
You named the child.
I gave her the name that I wanted my son to have.
The results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Tidwell, you are not his father.
Are you kidding me?
Things get messy fast. Mr. Robinson and his wife claim he's not Trevorris's dad and say Ms. Grant tricked him into paying child support. Now they're suing for $124 to fix his license and $1,600 in wages.
You and your wife say you are not the father of the defendant's son, Trevorris, but know who is. You claim she deceived you into believing you were the father to collect child support, and as a result of your inability to pay, your driver's license was suspended and your tax return was taken. Today you're suing Ms. Grant for $124 for license reinstatement fees and plan to return to court in your home state to fight for $1,685.10 in garnished wages.
Ms. Grant isn't backing down. She shows the court an affidavit where Mr. Robinson said he's the dad. She says he even acted like a dad before doubting it. Mr. Robinson admits signing it, but gets sketchy about his proof.
My son never went around them. Yes, Dexter did claim my child because I have proof here where he went to sign papers and everything. He had the opportunity.
What is this paperwork?
That is where he signed and say that is his child, and he states that he will pay $60 a month for his child.
This is an affidavit, an admission of paternity, which is basically an acknowledgement of paternity.
Plot twist. Ms. Grant says Trevorus isn't Mr. Ellis's kid, but Mr. Ellis told Mr. Robinson otherwise. Mr. Robinson believed he was the dad for over 20 years, but one conversation flipped everything upside down.
2 years ago, when this other man approached him and told him that he was the father.
So, Mr. Robinson, at some point after you signed this acknowledgement, someone came up to you and said, I'm Mr. Christian's father?
Yes, Your Honor.
20 years you thought Mr. Christian was your son and you were paying support?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ellis claims Mr. Robinson started the whole mess, but then it gets wild. He says Ms. Grant once called Trevorus his son, which she denies. Meanwhile, the tension rises, and Trevorus is about to weigh in.
No, that's a lie. He approached me. He came to me and he said, I heard that Martez was your son. I said, well, hey, man, hey, look, I didn't tell you to go up there and sign them papers, so that's on you. You know, I feel he is my son because of his mom approached me and said,
And I never, Your Honor, I never.
Yes. Trevorus shares his side, saying his mom left him confused about who his dad was. He felt closer to Mr. Ellis's family, while Mr. Robinson's barely acknowledged him. Judge Lake reminds everyone about the legal affidavit, but the real shocker's coming.
Were you ever told that Mr. Ellis was your father?
I was told that it could be either of the two.
That it could be either of the two?
Yes, ma'am.
And who told you this?
My mom.
Ms. Grant, your son's saying that you honestly told him it could be either of these two men. In your prior testimony, you said you were only sleeping with Mr. Ellis way before Mr. Robinson.
I was telling the truth earlier.
The DNA results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Eddie Ellis, you are not the father.
Buckle up, because this story starts with a mind-blowing twist. Mr. Hinton says he had a fling with the twins' late mom, which led to their birth. After a tragic accident, he lost contact and spent 25 years proving he's their dad. But the twins are like, who even is this guy? Things are about to get messy, so brace yourself for the drama bomb.
Mr. Hinton, you say that a brief affair with the defendant's now deceased mother resulted in their birth. You say you lost touch with the children after a tragic accident and have spent the last 25 years trying to find them and prove you are their father.
This part feels straight out of a soap opera. Mr. Hinton claims he bumped into the twins' mom at a flea market, visited her house, and the little girl Marilyn jumped into his arms like she knew him. But Marilyn's over here saying, no, that never happened. Trust me, the chaos is only just beginning.
I was in Columbus, Ohio at a flea market. Somebody came up and tapped me on the back of my shoulder. I turned around and looked. I didn't recognize her at first. Then she looked at me like, this is Tanya. And then it clicked for me right then and there. So we did our pleasantries and we hugged. So I said, well, why don't you come over tonight? And at the time we was talking, there was kids running around the living room. I mean, just running around. Kids do.
Now it gets popcorn worthy. Marilyn remembers a guy named Mark hanging around when she was little, but she never called him dad. Mr. Hinton says, surprise, I was going by my middle name, Mark. Apparently, there was an army of Emmanuels in Columbus. The reactions to this twist, priceless.
I do remember when I was a little girl and my mom let me go with a man who I called Mark. I didn't even call him dad. I didn't call him Manny. His name was Mark. He just took an interest in me and my mother just let me go with him. We would and I just remember one day that he just literally came and was like, no, this is the last time I'm going to see you. Probably about a year or so before my mother passed.
Things get crazier with a new plot twist. The court confirms Mr. Hinton's full name is Emmanuel Mark Hinton, but Marilyn insists her family said Renard was her dad. Mr. Hinton claims he was there during her childhood. If you think this is wild, hold on. It's not over.
But Ms. Waddell testified that she got picked up and spent time with a man named Mark. Your name is Emmanuel.
Right. At time in Columbus, Ohio, I don't know what it was a big boom. There's a lot of males that were named Emmanuel. I knew 6 people named Emmanuel myself. So I didn't want these people to keep, everybody in the whole city, keep interfering with me thinking I'm this Emmanuel and I'm this Emmanuel.
Now we hit the emotional part. The twins accuse Mr. Hinton of being MIA after their mom passed, sharing how they grew up in foster care and were separated at 9. Marilyn asks, if you cared so much, why didn't you come back for us? His response, eye-roll worthy.
We're 33 years old. So if you are our father, like, why would you wait all of this time? Me and my twin, we grew up in foster care and we were even separated at 9 years old. Where did you go? I don't understand after 33 years why you just come in all of a sudden and you find me on Facebook, you say you were looking for me all this time. I've been in the same place.
Get ready for drama overload. Mr. Hinton says he promised their mom he'd take care of the twins, but needed time to get his life together. The twins aren't buying it, asking, where were you for 33 years? The roller coaster isn't stopping here.
He was there at my mother's death. That makes me extremely upset. If you were there when my mother died at the hospital on her deathbed and she told you she wanted you to take care of us, take care of me, whatever, where did you go? Why would you just leave us there? Why did we have to grow up the way that we did? That makes no sense to me. No excuse that he can give me on why he wasn't there, especially when he keeps insinuating that he was there when my mother passed.
This is a classic, are you kidding me moment? Marilyn asks why Mr. Hinton tried to pick her up, but not her twin brother. She's like, what parent picks one kid and leaves the other? Mr. Hinton blames challenges, but the twins aren't convinced. The tension is about to explode.
Why didn't he come back to get both of us 7 months later?
7 months later?
Yeah, why would you just say, I'm coming back to get Marilyn?
Because he was not there.
Okay.
I was there. I'm not going to take one and not take the other.
I'm a single mother. I struggle, but I'm not just going to leave him or just put him in foster care, let him go over, ABC house just because I can't take him. We going to struggle together.
But there wasn't a cycle there, Yana.
This kicks off with some juicy family drama that feels straight out of a TV show. Ms. Webster overhears gossip suggesting her dad might not actually be her dad. Her cousin chimes in saying, you're just like Mr. Ware. Same laugh, same walk. And suddenly, everyone's suspicious.
You recently learned shocking news that Myron Smith, the man you believe to be your dad and who paid child support for you, may not be your biological father. Now you've dragged the defendant, Mr. Ware, to paternity court to prove that he is your father and claim today's results will prove your case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Webster dives into her baby book, uncovering clues that only fuel her doubts. She finds notes and gifts from Mr. Ware's family, while Mr. Ware admits he dated her mom but thought she wasn't his. Now, she's on a mission to untangle the truth with some spiritual guidance.
I had a baby book for a long time, and I never really started putting things together until the blood type wasn't the same. And I'm looking in the baby book, and there's relatives of Mr. Ware's family that signed in when I was born. They bought gifts. There was an address.
Relatives of Mr. Ware's,
yes, Your Honor,
have signed into your baby book when you were born.
Correct, Your Honor.
The plot thickens when Mr. Ware shows up during a church prayer session. Ms. Webster turns around and realizes this could be her dad, but it's as awkward as it is surreal. The moment feels like destiny, or maybe just a bizarre twist of fate.
We went to visit him at his church. I knew who he was, but he didn't know who I was. I just been praying, that I find out who my father is. There's things in my life. I came to the Lord. I went to the altar. They had altar call. I'm praying. And I'm nervous, but I just felt this energy. When I got up, Mr. Ware was standing right behind me. So out of all
And did you know it was Mr. Ware?
When I was down, no, I didn't know who was standing there when I got up.
Tamara Smith enters with major receipts, claiming she knows who the real dad is. She insists Ms. Webster's mom and Mr. Ware were together when Ms. Webster was conceived, clashing with her mom's denial. The drama skyrockets as Ms. Webster's mom steps in to defend her story.
My name is Tamara Smith, and I grew up in the household with Demisha's mother, Miss Webster. Mr. Ware was like a part of our family. I know what Miss Webster may have told him, that he wasn't the father, but I believe in my heart when Miss Webster left Louisville to move back to Dayton, Ohio, that she left her pregnant.
Mr. Smith, who's been paying child support for years, reveals he was out of state during the conception window. Despite signing papers without a DNA test, he wanted to do the right thing. Now, Ms. Webster's mom has to set the record straight amid mounting tension.
You have been paying child support.
Yes, I have.
But you don't believe you're her biological father.
No, I don't. Miss Webster was born September the 17th, which means that she had to be conceived either late December or January of 76 or late December of 75. I was in the United States Army, stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. So right there, she was born September the 17th. Last time I was home on leave was late November.
The mom testifies, confidently naming Mr. Smith as the dad, until it's revealed she was dating Mr. Ware too. The court hears everyone's version of events, creating a live soap opera moment. Then comes the bombshell. The DNA test results are in.
Tisha was named for my cousin Marika and Mr. Ware. His middle name and Marika's name together, and that's how she got to be.
Of course, Marsha and I, we got together to name her at the time. I do remember that.
You dated through the process, you named her together, but you were sure he was not the father?
Right.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Ware, you are not her father.
This gets messy fast. Like, Grab your popcorn. Messy. Mr. Pierce accuses Ms. Koval of tricking him into thinking her baby was his. She admits she cheated, but insists Julian is his, setting the stage for a drama-packed showdown.
You are summoning your ex-fiancée, Ms. Cavell, for a paternity test to prove that her 1-year-old son, Julian, is not your son. You claim Ms. Cavell deceived you into believing you were the father, and it wasn't until Julian was 6 months old when she finally confessed she had cheated and you may not be the father.
Things explode when Mr. Pierce recalls giving Ms. Koval a chance to confess secrets, thinking they were solid. She admitted to cheating, which led to days of guilt-fueled confessions. Just when you think it's done, more chaos unfolds.
When I found out, I just had to call it off. I mean, there's no sense in really trying to go for a marriage because it's not true.
How do you feel when you hear Mr. Pierce say these things, Ms. Cavell?
It really hurts me. I know I made a mistake at one. We were both going through an emotional roller coaster at that time period. I made a mistake one time. I understand that my son looks nothing like him, but he looked to me when I was a baby.
You don't see no color in that baby.
Ms. Koval reveals she cheated after feeling unsupported during a tough time. She says it was a one-time mistake with a coworker, but Mr. Pierce doubts her. The awkward vibes skyrocket as trust hangs by a thread.
When was he born?
May 13th.
Oh, this is here. When you had that moment where you fell short and cheated?
It was in September. I don't remember the exact date. I just lost a baby.
Early September, middle September?
It was early September.
Did you say the end of August, beginning of September?
Somewhere around.
You cheated right around here.
Mr. Pierce wants both a paternity and lie detector test, saying trust is gone. He can't believe someone he trusted betrayed him. Their future hinges on these test results, and the tension couldn't be higher.
In addition to the DNA test you request today, you're also requesting a lie detector test.
Correct, Your Honor.
We have, in fact, administered that test, and the results will be revealed shortly. You have this beautiful baby. When you look at this child, what are you thinking?
Every time I look at him, it kills me.
The paternity test results are in.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Pierce, you are Julian's father.
Yes! From the get-go, it's chaos. Miss Reed demands a paternity test to prove Mr. Wallace isn't the father of Miss Austin's baby. Plus, she's suing Miss Austin for $5,000, blaming the affair for her financial troubles. Miss Austin fires back, denying she owes Miss Reed anything and insisting Mr. Wallace is her baby's dad. The drama is off the charts, and we're only getting started.
You are demanding that Miss Austin have a paternity test administered on her child, whom she claims was fathered by your estranged husband. You're hoping the DNA test will prove that your husband is not her baby's father. You argue that her affair has left you struggling financially as well.
Buckle up. This is where it gets messy. Miss Reed found out about Miss Austin when she answered Mr. Wallace's phone and heard, "I'm his girlfriend." Shocked, she responded, "No, I'm his fiancée and we just had a baby." Though she initially left him, she later forgave and married him. But Miss Austin's next bombshell keeps the drama rolling.
And I found out about Mrs. Austin. One day I came in from the hospital from having my second child, and Raniel's phone rang, and I just so happened to answer the phone. Mrs. Austin, she said, "I'm Raniel's girlfriend." I said, "Raniel's girlfriend, did you know that Raniel was engaged to me or whatever and just had a baby?" She said, "No." I packed my things and I left with my 2 kids at the time. I went and stayed at my aunt's house.
Miss Austin brings the heat with her unapologetic story. She claims she didn't know about the engagement and only learned of their marriage via Facebook. Instead of apologizing, she blames Miss Reed for not keeping up the house, saying that's why Mr. Wallace strayed. Her confidence is wild, but when Mr. Wallace enters, the drama hits new heights.
I found out on Facebook that Raniel, Mrs. Reed, was married when she posted a picture up there of their marriage life. That's when I found out. And yes, I did confront Raniel about the marriage.
So what you're saying actually is that you didn't have any regret or remorse about it because you felt like if she was handling her business, he wouldn't be over talking to you.
Mr. Wallace arrives looking more casual than concerned. He admits to cheating, fathering 3 kids with Miss Reed and possibly one with Miss Austin, citing boredom as his excuse. Judge Lake calls him out for his audacity, while Miss Reed tearfully confronts the mess he's created. Things quickly turn emotional.
You just standing there, Mr. Wallace, like you don't have a piece of remorse in the world. You don't?
No, ma'am.
You don't have any issues with cheating on your wife?
No, she's not a victim.
She's not?
No.
Oh, fill us in.
First off, she wasn't a good wife. She barely cooks, she doesn't clean.
Correction.
Miss Reed's testimony is heartbreaking. She shares how her kids feel neglected now that Miss Austin's baby is in the picture. While upset with both parties, she ultimately blames Mr. Wallace for failing their family. Her only wish? For her kids to have a present, caring father. But there's still the $5,000 lawsuit to address.
I rather for it to be his because I feel like ever since Rayo had other kids on my kids get the short end of the stick. They rarely see their dad. Like when I take them to see him, I have to like leave them with him in order for them to spend time with their father. Before her child even got in the picture, Rayo was there for my kids for whatever. Like watched them, gave them whatever. But now that Mrs. Austin's child is in the picture, my kids have to suffer. And I feel that it's not right.
The $5,000 lawsuit hits a wall. Judge Lake rules that Miss Austin isn't to blame for the marriage's downfall. That's all on Mr. Wallace. Miss Reed looks frustrated, but the judge calls out everyone's messy behavior, reminding them that children's lives are at stake. And now it's time for the paternity results.
We found out today through testimony and confirmation is that Mr. Wallace actually went after Ms. Austin. Now, in order for you to sue for alienation of affection, you have to prove that this young woman planned to destroy your marriage. I don't see that. It was his free will that started this affair. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
So for this reason, my judgment is for the defendant.
Here's the moment everyone's been waiting for.
In the case of Reed versus Austin, when it comes to baby Demuriel, Mr. Wallace, you are her father.
Told you, dummy. She looks just like you, dummy.
Another man carry another man's baby, point blank, period. Like
Another man carry
another man after she gave birth, she had the guy all up in her baby's face.
That was a family member.
No, you said that was your boyfriend. Let's get it right, shorty. 2012 or 13. There you go right there. He all
That's a family member.
No,
He
that's
has
your
not.
boyfriend.
So if he's your daughter's father, why is it he doesn't have anyone to contact?
Because I'm always changing my number. Like, I change my number like 3 times out of a month.
Why?
Because certain people have my number and I don't want them having my number, so I just changed my number.
But if this man could be your child's father, how can they keep up with their child?
Mr. Clark starts off confidently declaring, "I'm the dad," and is ready to prove it with a DNA test to spend more time with LaKearney. But Ms. Bolden drops a bomb, claiming the real dad is Mr. Moore. The drama kicks off with popcorn-worthy tension, and we're just getting started.
Mr. Clark, you're here to prove to Ms. Bolden that you are the biological father of her 3-year-old daughter, LaKearney Clark. And once the DNA results prove you're right, you want to be able to spend more time with your daughter. You say that you've always told Mr. Clark he was not daughter's father and hope that once these results are revealed...
Ms. Bolden reveals she cheated on Mr. Clark after an argument about bills. She admits she called up Mr. Moore that night, and things escalated, possibly leading to LaKearney's conception. This love triangle is heating up fast, and it's pure chaos.
One day we had an argument about bills, as usual, about his half on the bills. Stormed out the door, so I stormed out the door too. I called Mr. Moore, and we had got a hotel room, and that night I had sex with Mr. Moore. That's the night I think I conceived.
And so you were dating Mr. Clark?
Right.
Mr. Clark signed the birth certificate, sure LaKearney was his. But Ms. Bolden admits she hinted he might not be the dad, without pushing the issue. Now, the confusion between them is setting the stage for more twists.
Were you at the hospital when the baby was born?
Out Your Honor.
Signed the birth certificate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bolden, all this is going on, and he's signing the birth certificate, and he thinks this is his child, and you know, in your mind, you say that it's not?
Yes.
So during your pregnancy, during the child's birth, did you ever say anything, give a hint?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clark describes his magical bond with LaKearney, calling her his princess. He's adamant she's his daughter and won't let anyone say otherwise. But just as things turn sweet, the drama thickens.
I mean, we stayed arguing all the time. She made statements, I guess just to hurt me, that she wasn't mine, but yet and still, I had no doubt in my mind that little girl is mine. I always felt like she was my daughter, and I feel like this still. Whenever me and LaKearney meet, it's magic, you know what I'm saying? And she's very happy when she sees me.
Mr. Moore believes he might be the dad, but hasn't been involved due to Ms. Bolden's changing contact info. He claims he'll step up if proven the father, but his track record has everyone doubting him. Suspense is building fast.
So if he's your daughter's father, why is it he doesn't have anyone to contact?
Because I'm always changing my number. Like, I change my number like 3 times out of a month.
Why?
Because certain people have my number and I don't want them having my number, so I just changed my number.
But if this man could be your child's father, how can they keep up with their child?
Mr. Moore's sister insists LaKearney resembles their family and must be her niece. She says her family supports LaKearney despite the uncertainty, but mixed signals from Ms. Bolden keep everyone guessing.
What I know is that's my niece.
You do?
Yes, ma'am. I know from day one that little girl was my niece. I make sure she get things for her birthday. I just spend time with her.
And why are you so certain?
Cause she looks just like us. Nose, mouth, everything. She even act like us.
You have her number?
No, ma'am. On Facebook.
Mr. Clark's witness accuses Ms. Bolden of flip-flopping on who the dad is. They point out LaKearney calls Mr. Clark daddy, sealing his claim. The tension is like a soap opera, and the DNA results are about to drop.
So you believe LaKearney is Mr. Clark's child?
Yes, Your Honor, a little bit.
Because at first you're saying Ms. Bolden told Mr. Moore it was not his child.
Yes, ma'am.
And LaKearney calls me daddy.
She called me dad too.
Yes.
Ms. Bolden, does she call both men daddy?
Yes, she do.
Is that confusing for her?
Yes, it is.
It has been determined by this court that the biological father is Mr. Clark.
This was wild right away. 2 women, 1 child, and 0 chill in the courtroom. Miss Lusk says her daughter, Samarai, belongs to her late boyfriend, Desmond. But Miss Page, Desmond's mom, disagrees. She's convinced Desmond was with someone else and claims she didn't even know Miss Lusk existed.
You and your mother say you have no doubt whatsoever when it comes to knowing who your 3-year-old daughter, Samari's biological father is. Unfortunately, the man you claim is her father has died, and now you find yourself facing off against his mother, who is just as convinced that she is not your daughter's grandmother.
Things heat up when money enters the chat. Miss Page accuses Miss Lusk of chasing a $50,000 insurance payout, saying it's all about the cash. Miss Lusk claps back, insisting it's about her daughter's recognition, not money, as tensions hit the roof.
And so this insurance policy is in the amount of $50,000 you submitted that paperwork to the court. It is your testimony today that Ms. Lusk is attempting to get a portion of that money. That's why she's claiming your deceased son is her child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor. I never heard of Miss Lusk. Your son was in a committed relationship.
Somehow, Facebook makes this mess even wilder. Miss Page claims she learned about the pregnancy from a post, but wasn't convinced Miss Lusk was really pregnant. Miss Lusk explains she only found out later, adding more drama to the mix.
Well, I'm thinking that someone told me via Facebook or something like that.
No, ma'am.
Do you know what happened?
I contacted Miss Page through Facebook to tell her to call me. She called me, and that's when I broke the news to her about my daughter being pregnant by her son. The very first thing she said to me is, my son is a legend. My son has women coming out the woodwork. She seemed proud.
Things get soap opera intense over Samurai's last name. Miss Lusk gave her Desmond's last name, Page, sparking outrage from Miss Page, who says it wasn't her call. Miss Lusk defends her choice, firing up the courtroom even more.
So you gave Samari Desmond's last name?
Without my permission.
We don't need your permission. It was permission when I laid down and was intimate with him.
No,
that's
it's not,
permission.
It's not been
that's
proven.
permission.
It's not been proven.
But it will be today.
You're not
but it
his
will
wife.
be correct. I don't have to be, and you're not either. You wasn't in the room, Miss
I'm
Page.
his mother.
And I'm his baby mother.
No, you're not.
Yes, ma'am.
The tension shifts as emotions spill out. Judge Lake steps in, pointing out Miss Page's grief over Desmond may be fueling her doubts. She urges both women to stop the public drama and focus on facts, calming things. For now,
Miss Page is grieving. She doesn't even have a person to review these facts with. She can't say to her son, Desmond, I need to talk to you about this, this, and this, so I can get an understanding. But much of this pain and animosity that is coming out in your testimony is because you do feel like you have a situation before you.
plot twist. Another girlfriend enters the story. Miss Lusk didn't know Desmond had a long-term relationship until after he passed. She discovered her pregnancy days after his funeral, adding another layer to this tangled web.
Were you aware that Desmond was in another relationship with someone else?
No, Your Honor. I didn't find out until the day of and the day after his passing.
So how did you find that out?
Facebook, social media. That's when, I believe 4 days after his passing, that's when I took my own pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant. That was April 24th. His funeral was April 27th. I didn't go to his funeral.
The judge raises a tough question. Will Miss Page build a relationship with Samurai if she's proven Desmond's daughter? Miss Page hesitates, unsure if she can handle the drama, but the judge pushes her to consider what's best for Samurai.
If, in fact, this beautiful baby girl is your late son's biological daughter, do you want to have a relationship with her?
I can't answer that.
Why is that?
Plus, it's too much drama.
And it's too much for me as well because you caused the drama.
The moment of truth.
It has been determined by this court The probability of relatedness between Miss Page and Samari Page is 99.96%.
This kicks off wild. Mr. Williams claims Miss tricked him into paying child support for 22-year-old Clarissa, despite always using condoms. He's here to prove he's not the dad and fight $36,742.43 each dollars in debt. It's messy from the start, and spoiler, it only gets crazier.
Mr. Williams, you have brought Ms. Annette Smith to court today, claiming she scammed you into paying child support on her 22-year-old daughter, Clarissa. You say you use condoms at all times, so you cannot be Clarissa's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams says child support wiped him out, leaving him with just $7 after 11-hour workdays. A car accident added to his woes, making him miss court. And just when it seems rough enough, it's time for Ms. Smith's side.
Woke up 5 o'clock in the morning, spent 11 hours on the job. Usually it's an $80 a day, turned to a $7 a day based on child support. So I'm like, I can't do this. I can't work 11-hour day for $7, and I made income enough to get away. But what happened is I was working at a place and I got into a bad car accident. Kind of took me out, but the settlement was allowed me to move.
Ms. Smith insists they had a real relationship, and he picked baby names while Mr. Williams denies it all. It's a tense stare down, leading to a clash over missed DNA tests. Drama level high.
You say this was a real relationship.
Yes, ma'am, it was. There you go, right there.
You all were boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes.
No.
At the point that you realized you were pregnant, before that, were you sleeping with anybody else besides Mr. Williams?
No.
When you found out you were pregnant, did you tell him?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What day?
What was his
The
reaction?
same night.
Night?
Yep.
What night?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Forgot
no,
the name that he wanted me to name, but he wanted me to have a boy.
What?
Mrs. Smith says Mr. Williams missed court-ordered DNA tests due to an address mix-up. He claims it was deliberate so he'd keep paying. It's like arguing over 22-year-old spilled milk. Messy and expensive.
When I was on Public Assistant, they asked Eli to come down here for the blood test. Eli declined. He didn't want to show up.
Did you have
Yes,
an
it is.
opportunity to take a DNA test, sir, and you didn't?
No, I didn't.
And I got his
Because
address
for
when I
one,
went to
let me
California
tell
to
you.
see him.
See, and now she moving too far ahead for herself because when she went to
'Cause I'm
California,
telling the truth.
she went to California to scope out my situation.
Mr. Williams accuses Ms. Smith of tampering with condoms, claiming she's a sneaky ninja. Ms. Smith's disbelief is palpable, and the courtroom teeters between gasps and laughs. Then, Clarissa herself enters the scene.
So, Mr. Williams, you say you always used condoms.
As far as I know, always use condoms. What I do know is she used to take my condoms off to the bathroom, and whatever she did in the bathroom with that condom, because I used to lay there, well, I'll take care of that for you. You never said that.
What, I'm gonna take care of? I'm gonna put it on you too?
No, however
Who
you
does
do it.
that?
You did.
Oh my Lord, you.
So what you're
That's why
saying,
you smiling.
What you're saying is you feel like there was foul play.
Clarissa shares how she grew up thinking Mr. Williams was her dad, but had little contact. It's an emotional moment as Mrs. Smith proudly highlights her achievements. The family drama has layers upon layers.
Is Mr. Williams the person you were always told was your biological father?
Yes.
You never were told anyone else could be your father?
No.
Do you remember him being in your life when you were growing up?
When I was 5, he would call me. That's all I remember.
But since then, you don't remember anything?
No.
You have not seen him?
No.
Holiday?
No.
Nothing?
By the time that was probably happening, probably when that child support started hitting me.
Ms. Smith praises Clarissa's 3.9 GPA and music skills, while Mr. Williams looks uncomfortable. Then, Clarissa delivers a heartfelt speech, ready to lay it all on the table.
You just want her to know her father?
Yes, ma'am, because he is missing out on so much. She made her own music, her own game video. She's a 3.9.
And I can see you very proud of your daughter.
Very so much. And now this is the last closure. And this I wanted to be done with so she can blossom and be a good woman. Whether you in her life or not, because you done missed out.
Clarissa speaks about growing up without a dad, wanting support and love, but getting nothing. The room holds its breath as her words hit hard. The judge steps in to confront Mr. Williams with some tough truths.
You missed out on my entire life. I wanted to have a father to brag things about in my academic life. I wanted to explore someone to support me. You were never there. I wish you were. We could have had some fun. You stopped calling me. My mom tell me these stories about how much you two had so much fun.
The judge scolds Mr. Williams for ghosting a child, regardless of his doubts. She highlights the impact on Clarissa, and you can see him starting to understand, maybe. Then, it's time for the DNA results.
And you have to respect that, Mr. Williams, whether you believe she's your biological daughter or not. She was told you're her father.
Right.
Her mother has pictures of you looking like you happy she's here. Can you accept that?
If she's mine, I can accept that. But if she's not mine, I'll be more hurt than you imagine.
Mr. Williams, you are her father.
This story kicks off like a soap opera you didn't know you needed. Miss Garnett claims Mr. Langston is her dad and demands an apology for doubting it, but Mr. Langston claps back, saying he's always known she's not his daughter and wants her to say sorry. Get ready. This is no ordinary family drama.
Ms. Garnett, you and your mother, Ms. Miller, have opened your case to prove to the defendant that he is your biological father. You are baffled because you consider him a daddy and a best friend and state his doubt is unwarranted and demand an apology once the results are revealed.
Miss Garnett shares how Mr. Langston ghosted her after a funeral, sparking doubts he'd held onto since her birth. These doubts exploded after a random text, like a family firecracker. The plot thickens in ways you won't expect.
It started with a text message about a couple months ago. That wasn't the very beginning, but this is why we're here. Text message brought us here, and this is the evidence that I brought in today. Almost 2 years of reaching out to my father after visiting him in 2015, pleading to get him to respond. He wasn't responding, and he finally responded with this message.
At a funeral, Mr. Langston drops the bombshell that Miss Garnett might not be his daughter. Later, he takes it back, leaving her confused and heartbroken. This wasn't a joke, and things are about to get even messier.
2 years ago, when I was at the funeral with him, he had brought up for the very first time that he thought I may not have been his daughter, which blew my mind. He went on and on about him and my mother's past, all this, but then after he vomited all this tragedy on me, he recanted and took it back.
I was bearing up feeling because I seen the fact right away, and I'm not trying to hurt her. I love her.
Mr. Langston recalls seeing Ms. Miller with another man, which fueled his suspicions. Ms. Miller insists the man was just a friend, but Mr. Langston isn't buying it. This becomes one of his biggest reasons for doubting her paternity.
One day, she used to live out south. I came through the back. Her auntie downstairs let me in. I walked upstairs. I didn't knock on the door. I looked in. I see this guy sitting on the couch with her, like he running this game to get up on something. I knocked on the door. I said, what's going on? Ain't nothing. No, this is my cousin. I said, hey, you can get out of here, cousin. You can leave. But I don't believe it.
Mr. Langston reveals he paid child support for over 20 years, despite his doubts. Ms. Miller mentions a DNA test from years ago that was never followed up on. The fact that this lingered for decades is shocking.
I paid child support not only 18 years, I paid it 20 years.
But when
they
did
started
you start?
sending me checks back for overpayment, $1,700.
So how come you didn't take that $100,000, $1,500, pay for a DNA test when before I turned 36 years old?
I'll tell you, I have the answer for you.
Miss Garnett shares how devastating it was when Mr. Langston's text made her question her identity. She'd always considered herself a Langston, and this shattered her world. Despite her pain, she takes bold steps to uncover the truth.
When he sent that text to me, I cried my hardest cry.
Oh, baby, don't do that.
I was devastated. I felt like he was taking my identity away from me because I've always known I was a Langston. I have so much about my father. When he came back into my life when I was an adult, it was like a piece of the puzzle was missing, and we became best friends.
Miss Garnett posts a photo with her grandfather, sparking comments about their resemblance. Even Mr. Langston sees it, but he's still unconvinced. The drama keeps building.
This picture, and it reminded me of this picture of my grandfather. This is Mr. Langston's father. And I noticed some similarities in our faces. I posted it to Facebook to get some support about the situation. I even had cousins respond, oh my goodness, you look just like Papa. I never realized that.
Ms. Miller is asked if she ever had a relationship with Mr. Langston's dad, which she denies. She insists Mr. Langston is the father, but the tension is palpable as the big reveal approaches.
Was there ever any type of relationship between you and Mr. Langston's father when you lived in the house with him?
A father and daughter. I looked at him like he was my family. I looked at his mom like she was my mom. I never looked at him in any other way.
And so there's absolutely no doubt in your mind that Mr. Langston is your daughter, Miss Garnett's biological father.
No doubt.
Mr. Langston, you are not the father.
This starts off like a soap opera, and it's wild. Miss Brugger claims her late fiancé, Parrish Brooks Sr., is the father of her son, while Ms. Warner, the grandma, denies it and accuses her of chasing money. Oh, and Grandma insists Parrish Sr. was sterile. Buckle up, it's about to get crazier.
Prove to the defendant that your son, Parrish Brooks Jr., was fathered by the defendant's grandson, who was tragically killed 2 months ago in an auto accident. Now, Ms. Warner, you are here with your granddaughter, and you don't believe Parrish Jr. is your great-grandson. You say the the plaintiff has dragged you to court today because she wants in on your family's land and oil trust.
Miss Brugger says she and Parrish Sr. were building a life together, and he was excited about the baby. She even has proof he claimed the baby as his own, but the family isn't buying it, and tensions are boiling over.
He's my son's father. We live together, everything, we're in a relationship. He asked me to marry him. That is my son's father. He never denied my son. He was never told by a doctor. That was just him because he never had a child.
Me and Parrish clearly had a conversation before he passed that he wasn't sure. Chaz, I don't even think I can have kids.
Ms. Warner claims the baby doesn't resemble Parrish Sr., down to the vibe. Miss Brugger fires back, saying Parrish Sr. loved being a dad and treated her older kids like his own. Then, the bombshell. The family learned about his death on Facebook.
You did? I did go because of Parrish. Parrish was alive then. That was his baby. But to me, that's not his child. He loved the baby, Your Honor, but the baby doesn't even look like him. He doesn't act like him. His forehead's not like, there's nothing about him to tell me that that is my grandson.
My son looks, around
Where?
his eyes, he looks just like him.
No,
he looks like his grandpa.
Grandpa ain't never did nothing for Parrish. Well,
that's what y'all say.
Ms. Warner is livid she found out about Parrish Sr.'s death on Facebook. She accuses Miss Brugger of keeping the baby just to fulfill Parrish Sr.'s dream of fatherhood. Miss Brugger claps back, saying she's raising the child alone.
I got a phone call from one of my friends that seen it on Facebook. They had just found out that morning too.
They found it out on Facebook.
Someone else called the coroner's office. They released all of his information. So when I'm looking at Facebook at like 5 o'clock in the morning going to work, I see it. I call my grandmother. Grandma, have you heard anything about Parrish? I had just talked to Parrish the Friday that he died at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Grandma accuses Miss Brugger of sneaking around with a guy she did hair for. Brugger denies it, saying he's just her brother's friend. The real drama? A babysitting fiasco that'll make you cringe.
Parrish felt that she used to have some dude come over to the house whose hair she was always doing.
Your Honor,
never got paid for it. Parrish didn't like that because he would call my grandmother and clearly stated.
He was saying she's broken, Grandma. I cannot fix her. He said she's crazy, Grandma. This guy keeps coming over there and doing her hair. And she's not even getting paid for doing his hair.
Ms. Warner babysat but didn't know how to feed the baby, leading to a night of chaos. To top it off, Miss Brugger says they didn't even secure the baby's car seat properly. It's a total mess.
We trusted you with my son when he was like 2 to 3 months.
But he's growing.
She did not feed my son all night.
No, it didn't go like that. Don't
she
say
brought
that.
him home
They didn't
in a car seat without him being strapped in.
that
Parrish
is
was
a lie.
even mad,
I'm
and he
sorry.
said
I have to tell you that.
He would never let her keep our son.
No,
until
what
he was
happened
old enough
was
that wasn't.
to
I'll
talk
tell
and
you
pick
what
up the
happened.
phone on his own.
Ms. Warner's granddaughter questions if they'll be allowed to see the baby if he's proven family. Miss Brugger argues they rarely tried to visit and left all the effort to her. It's getting even more heated.
If it comes back and that is his, or is my grandma even going to be able to see the baby?
You cannot.
You act so funny. I wasn't there because my 1-year-old was sick.
I
That's
invited
why.
you to
And I
his
talked
birthday,
to you. And what did I
you
tell
didn't
you?
show up.
And what
so
did I tell
how
you?
are you guys
So I'm
going to
gonna
say
bring another
that
baby.
I don't invite you guys? Did
I
you
did
guys
come.
ever come to my
I
house
come.
to see him?
I
You
did.
came a couple
Yes.
times.
No,
you
I
never
didn't.
did.
I have my own kid. Let's just
And
be real
Parrish,
about it.
but how
I
many
have my
times
own.
Ms. Warner accuses Brugger of being after the family trust fund, but Brugger insists it's all for her son's future. Then Mr. Harvey, Parrish Sr.'s dad, steps in with emotional regret and support for the baby.
He was mad because he felt they were not embracing the fact that he finally did have a kid. You know, I thought I couldn't have kids for all these years. Now I have the son and they're not embracing it. However they feel about me, but them trying to keep the ashes from my son, if my son is entitled to
I don't even have the
money,
ashes.
anything that he should be entitled to.
Mr. Harvey says Parrish Sr. loved being a dad and would never claim a baby that wasn't his. He sees a family resemblance and defends Miss Brugger, but the family's still skeptical as the DNA results are revealed.
He was proud of his son. He told me that was his son. The boy got a little bit of me in him. He looks like me.
We just want to make sure that little Parrish is Parrish's.
No.
And then it's just, he just looks nothing like him.
And the lack of
I used
family
to joke.
resemblance.
Yeah, and I always used to joke with Parrish, like, no, he's too cute to be your baby.
Jr. is also related to Parrish Brooks Jr.
It kicks off with a bang. How does a two-night fling turn into this chaos? Miss Steinhardt claims Mr. Washington is the father of her baby, but he's denying it. Meanwhile, his fiancée, Miss Comer, is fuming, and the drama is just getting started.
Mr. Washington, you say the defendant, Ms. Steinhardt, was a two-night stand that went too far. And as a result, she's claiming you fathered her 3-month-old daughter, Amaya. Your fiancé, Ms. Comer, says your relationship is in turmoil because of Ms. Steinhardt, and you're both both desperate to prove you are not the father.
Why they're fighting. The pettiness is unreal. Mr. Washington thinks Miss Steinhardt wants to ruin his family, while she insists he needs to step up as a dad. Miss Comer's had enough, and the drama keeps escalating.
Well, the real reason is because she just wants my family.
Nobody wants your family. Nobody wants this man.
Called me every day when you was pregnant, knowing that I was pregnant with my child, to talking about your child like I was gonna even put my 2 cents in your conversation.
You're the only one asking for a DNA.
Not that. He said it in front of you when we had you on speaker on the phone.
Because
you
he was with you.
How they met. Things went downhill fast after Mr. Washington met Miss Steinhardt during a fight with his fiancée. She says he even introduced her to his family, but Miss Comer's not buying it.
Me and my fiancée got into a little disagreement. I was staying at a friend's house, and I met Teresa over there.
Then we took it from there. We was together like that whole week.
When you say together, that means having sex?
No, like we was just like hanging out.
Okay.
He took me to his family member's house, introduced me to his family.
Let's get it straight, the basement of his family's house.
Caught in the act. Picture this. A street confrontation with Miss Comer catching them together. Chaos ensues as Mr. Washington tries to play it cool, but it's not working.
Basically, we was walking to the store and she was yelling from the other side of the block like, oh, I see you.
And then I said, oh, I see y'all over there. Then they started walking like this. They out, running, ghosts. But they was out, they was ghosts, nowhere to be found.
I don't know what you was on, but nobody was in ghosts.
And you all were together at that time.
Yeah.
The photos that broke the courtroom. Miss Steinhardt shows cozy selfies with Mr. Washington, leaving Miss Comer furious. He admits to taking them, but claims they mean nothing.
So if your boyfriend was cheating, why would he be taking a whole bunch of pictures?
That's why he takes a lot of pictures.
He posted it on his page.
No, you posted it on your page, sweetheart.
So Mr. Washington, because I want to hear from Mr. Washington.
Hear from the dog himself.
Yeah.
Pregnancy plot twist. Miss Steinhardt says Mr. Washington told her to take a pregnancy test and then ghosted her. Miss Comer found out on social media, and things got even messier.
He called me and he was like, I think you need to take a pregnancy test because I think you're pregnant. Yes, you did.
I never called you. Try to contact us all the time.
You didn't call me?
No, I blocked your number.
You called me from a text-free number. Let's be real, because your phone was off. He asked me to take a pregnancy test, and I went down to the hospital and I took a pregnancy test, and it came back positive, and I let him know.
The mystery man. A photo with another man holding the baby raises questions. Miss Steinhardt says he's just a family friend, but nobody's convinced.
Another man carry another man's baby, point blank, period. Like
another man carry
another man after she gave birth, she had the guy all up in her baby's face.
That was a family member.
No, you said that was your boyfriend. Let's get it right, shorty. That was my boyfriend since 2012 or 13. There you go right there. He all
that's a family member.
No,
he has
no boyfriend.
No dad in sight. Mr. Washington denies involvement with the baby, claiming she's not his. Miss Steinhardt accuses him of dodging responsibility, and the room's tension is palpable.
And so when you look at this beautiful baby, right?
And he was drunk when she took that picture.
No, he was not.
Yes, I was.
It was after his birthday. She even told me, don't, because she texted these pictures to me.
What's going on here? It looks like a dad.
Basically, I was at a family member's house. He wanted to see the baby, and I was like, sure.
The DNA shocker.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Washington, you are not the father.
Thank you. Now have a great day with your life.